5, that's 10. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be doing the 5 product glam challenge. So this is a tag started by Emily Noel. This will be the second tag that I've done that she has created. And the first one was the Sephora Fantasy Basket. I will link that video below. But this one is basically the concept of this tag is that you can only have 5 products and you have to create a full glam face. I will link her video below if you guys are interested in seeing her video. I definitely recommend it. It was a really fun one to watch. This is a challenge, guys. I'm actually excited to see what I can come up with. So basically the idea is you get to pick 5 products. That's tough when I think about it. So I would typically use a primer, a foundation, a concealer, setting powder. I would do, and cream contour most days, and then I would do bronzer, blush, highlight. I would do brows with like usually a pomade and then a brow gel, eyeshadow primer, an eyeshadow palette, an eyeliner, a mascara, lip liner, lipstick, lip gloss. So there is 17 products right there. What else could I, like setting spray? I had to like really think, like what do I want, like what do I need for a glam look, but being as minimal as possible. So I'm just gonna shut up and we're just gonna get started. The first thing I'm going to do is concealer. So already I have like moisturized my face with my regular skincare routine, but I have not put primer on or foundation on. So we're skipping those steps today. We're gonna go straight to concealer. The reason I chose my MAC Studio Fix 24-hour smooth wear concealer is because it is one of the best concealers that I can put under my eyes, but also on blemishes. So for example, a lot of my liquid concealers that work the greatest under my eyes, that help brighten the area, really cover it up, are too light for blemishes. So this is one that's closest to my skin type. Maybe a touch light, so it's still gonna brighten. It's not gonna be the most ultra brightening under eye today, but it's also gonna be able to conceal some of these blemishes. And then I'm going to set my face, but also add more coverage with a powder foundation. So this is kind of doing a 2-in-1. I absolutely have to set my under eyes. And I also, if I'm going to be applying stuff on my face, I just hate anything that's unset. I don't like the way that it feels, like it's almost sticky. I feel like if I touch my face, it's gonna come off on my hand, where when you set your face, it's like you have a barrier there. So if you touch your face, it's just the powder finish rather than the like sticky finish. Sometimes powder foundation underneath the eye can look a little bit cakey as well. But with this concealer, it's pretty great coverage, but it's not the most coverage, and it usually doesn't look cakey, so I can get away with these together when I use this to set under my eyes. So I am gonna use these two together. This is my MAC Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation. Definitely adds pretty good coverage. I honestly love this. I have like 3 of these. I just always have backups on hand. I've used this since I was like 15. It's honestly my go-to and one of my ride or dies. I don't use it a lot anymore because I use foundation, but when I want a good extra coverage, this is my go-to. I'm gonna go ahead, conceal everything, and apply my powder foundation. So I definitely used more concealer than I typically would because I would have already put foundation on. So a lot of the redness that I'm trying to conceal would already be concealed. But because I don't have that assistance from the foundation, we're solely focusing on concealer today. Honestly, I love doing challenges. In the new year, I do want to do more and maybe come up with some of my own because I really, really love doing them. They're so much fun. I just like a challenge. I'm gonna add a touch more under the eyes because I do kind of want to conceal that. It's definitely not the most full coverage, but it is a really beautiful finish. It looks just so natural. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more where I feel like it needs it, and then we're gonna go ahead with the powder foundation. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to this. I am gonna be using my Morphe G7 brush. I'm gonna tap off my excess. Sometimes what I like to do is use my sponge for the powder foundation and press it onto the under eye. I just feel like I like to apply my under eye products with a sponge because it has a bit of moisture, so it's going to kind of take away that powdery finish, and it looks the most smooth. Now you can see a little bit of the under eye darkness poking through. As I mentioned, we're not going to get the most coverage with a powder foundation. So in Emily Noel's video, she did mention that, you know, using palettes and stuff like that, she said, like, do what you want, but it's kind of cheating. And I do agree. I think having like a big, huge face palette where it has like blush, bronzer, highlight, cream contour, whatever, like that's cheating to me as well. I do agree. So I am going to be using my e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadow palette. These are $3. Like, it can count, can it not? I don't think it's cheating. Now, I literally dropped this today. This is the second time I've dropped it, and both times I dropped it, one of the eyeshadows broke. So the first time, this shade here, I'm not even gonna be able to really show you, this shade here broke. I fixed it with like alcohol. Then I dropped it today and the dark brown broke. So these palettes are really nice, great quality, really cheap. They're $3. I think in Canadian it's like $3.97, and honestly they're really great. So I'm going to be using this for multiple things today. The reason I chose this is, number one, I can still do a pretty glam eyeshadow look with these 4 shadows. I can use the dark brown for my brows, and I can use the lightest metallic, like the champagne, for a highlight. So we're gonna do exactly that. So I'm gonna just take like an angular brush. So I'm gonna go into the dark brown. I don't think it's much darker than my pomade, so I think it's gonna work out really well. I actually used to use powder all the time for brows, and it is a little bit of a softer look, which is nice sometimes. I like my pomades because they do really carve out the brow beautifully, but powder is a little bit more foolproof. Like, you can wipe it away easier. That can kind of be annoying because throughout the day it might not last as long, but it really does make things easy. So if you have trouble with brows, like you mess up, you want to like fix it, but a pomade is a little bit too like permanent, or not permanent, but like for the day type permanent. A powder is honestly really nice to go with. Okay, so that is my brows done, and that is actually a tip that I have recommended for quite some time. If you have an eyeshadow palette that has a brown that's kind of similar, you can even mix browns if there's more than one, and you can do your brows with that. You don't have to go and buy a specific product for your brows. If you enjoy powder and that's something that you find, you know, useful for you, then I definitely recommend that. So we're gonna go ahead and do eyes. I'm gonna take a Morphe M332. I'm gonna take the same brown I just placed my brow, and I'm just going to place that in the crease. I'm making a huge mess here because this shadow is broken. So I am going to darken the outer lid and the outer crease, and then start to like slowly bring it in. Okay, so now we need to really soften this up and blend this out. We're gonna take the cream shade right here. Sorry, I really can't like flip it over because it's like a disaster. I need to, as soon as this video is done, I need to spray alcohol in this. I'm gonna use a fluffier brush and really buff the edges out. And then I'm just gonna go back and reinforce. It kind of dulled that brown down a little bit. Okay, so now I'm gonna take the metallic right here. It's the darker metallic. And I'm gonna put that all across the lid. Now I'm going to take the lighter, more champagne metallic, and I am going to take it on a brush. I'm using the JH51 by Morphe, the Jacqueline collection, and place it in the inner corner. It is quite bright. I actually love that shade. I'm gonna pull it into the lid, and then use the excess on the brush to highlight the brow bone. And then I'm going to take the brush that I used for my brows under here. And then we use the brush I used in the crease to kind of blend it out a little bit more. And take some of that cream shade. Kind of soften those edges. Okay, so the next product is mascara, and I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills. Okay, so mascara is done, and we have only one product left. So I wanted to bring some color to my face, but also to my lips. So I actually thought, okay, I'm gonna do a lip and cheek product. So I have my Charlotte Tilbury lip and cheek tints that I've been testing and I've really been loving. But because we're going glam, I wanted pigmented. I wanted more pigmented than those because they are a little bit more of a more like natural. You can build them though, but I saw that Emily Noel used the Rare Beauty blush, and if any of you guys have watched my channel, you know I'm so obsessed with this stuff, the matte and the dewy formula, and I think this is one of the products that I'm most excited about from this year. Like I literally am obsessed and in love with this product. I'm gonna go ahead and use it for blush and for lipstick. I've never used it on my lips. So I'm gonna go ahead, take it on a brush and just start to stipple it on. Because it's so pigmented, I don't want to overdo it. Like, look at how pigmented that is. It's insane. Super ultra blendable. Like, it is the easiest product to work with. If I have one recommendation for this blush, it's like a little goes a very long way. But luckily, if you do apply too much, it is the most easy to work with, blendable blush you've ever used. So now that I have the most rosy cheeks ever, is take my beauty blender. I didn't put foundation on, so this side is actually clean, and I'm just gonna go over it. And as you can see, it kind of lifted a little bit of the excess product and looks a lot more natural. Now, I would typically maybe not apply this much blush, but the reason I kind of went in a little bit more intense than usual is because I'm not going to be putting on any bronzer, so I don't want to look pale. So that's why I'm applying a little bit more blush than normal. Then I'm going to go ahead, no extra product, but just a little bit of the excess will be on the brush of the powder foundation. So this way it kind of softens the edges, kind of dulls it down a little bit, but it also like really just blends it in. And then I like to take the excess on the brush and just reinforce it so it doesn't look like faded. You know what? Actually, looking at this look, I feel like I'm taken back to in high school. Like I had very rosy cheeks. This look was like my look, the brown with the gold and the champagne. I hadn't really mastered liquid liner yet, so I didn't do that as often as I do now. And I didn't really do a ton of cream contour and contouring. So this is like bringing me back. I feel like I look like I'm like 16 again. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this on my lips. I've never done this, so here we go. This is the dewy formula, by the way, in Happy. I am not mad about it. Like, it is definitely bright, and I'm not like a huge like bright pink lip kind of girl, but I mean, it's turning out not too bad. I just wish I had bronzer and like cream contour, and I think this look would look like even more fantastic. So then the last thing I'm gonna do is highlight. Now I know I ran out of products, but I can use that champagne shade from the e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadow, and I think it's gonna really bring the look together. Okay, so this is the look for today. I think we look pretty glam. I mean, we've got a lip, we've got a full eyeshadow look, we've got blush and highlights, and we used 5 products today, guys. I mean, I think my face looks like at least medium coverage. I don't think it looks too bad. So I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. I think it was really fun and a little bit challenging. So I really had fun with this, and I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you guys try this yourself on your YouTube channel, link it below. I'd love to see your versions of this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and good luck if you try this out. See you guys next time. Bye.